Today, we're gonna hop in our time machine and travel back to 1836, when Japan was nothing more than poor peasant farmers. Can we transform this backward society into the world's greatest industrial economy in the entire world? Let's just get into it. Alright boys, today we're playing as Japan! And I know I've played this again, but this is my comfort nation because anime people make me feel happy, okay? We're gonna modernize Japan, we're gonna become super duper rich. So yeah, we're gonna play tall Japan because playing tall is always fun in this game, and if you want to see warfare, this is definitely not the game for you guys. In the beginning, Japan was a feudal society ruled by decentralized landowners vying for power. With the majority of our people as peasants, our nation was a backwards agrarian society with a tiny GDP to come with. If we were to become the greatest nation on the planet, we had a lot of work to do. We have about 10 million GDP, but 30 million population. So that GDP is kind of low for our population. But half of us can read. That's crazy. That's unheard of for Asian people. That was a joke. I'm just kidding, guys. That was a joke. Asian people today can read when they're 2 years old. As the new shogun, my first order was to tax the rich feudal lords across the country and defund the government because, we were paying so much money to our government officials. Maybe we gotta call Elon Musk in here or something. With our new cash flow, we began expanding the foundation of what would be the greatest construction industry in the world. We're just gonna chop down the trees here. But even before we do that, as a good Japanese man, you should build up some construction. So for the next few years, we built construction sector after construction sector in the great city of Edo. With hopes of modernizing the buildings in Japan from wooden huts to iron frame buildings, we even developed a few iron mines in the surrounding hills. Immediately, this brought great economic stimulation to the Kanto region. Demand for wood and tools climbed, and so being the genius I am, we began investing in expanding these industries, which would create thousands of jobs for poor Japanese peasants. But then, we received chilling news. The great Chinese capital had fallen to the hands of the Westerners. Yeah, Mama Victoria is doing Mama Victoria things to the Chinese. Oh no. Each day, Western imperialism was creeping closer. It was only a matter of time before the British flag was flying in Kyoto. We had to industrialize, or else we too would die. So yeah, the Europeans are gonna be very interested in Asian affairs. We have to watch out for them because they are very, very powerful. You know, I'm gonna start improving relations with them just in case. So goodbye, Chinese people, we hate you. And so, with death on our doorstep, I forced our poor peasants to work double time. But yeah, let's keep expanding the logging camps, keep chopping down the forests around here. With the fury of our ancestors, we continued to develop the region around Edo, chopping down the forests and building iron mines. In no time, rich logging and mining industries formed, and the seeds of industrialization grew. But this wasn't enough. You see, for centuries, Japan had been isolationist, cutting off all trade from the world in favor of protecting Japanese culture. In a time of rapid globalization, though, if we could not open up our country, our growth would grind to a screeching halt. And then something happened that would change our destiny forever. Oh yes, there they are. Out of nowhere, the stinky white people from across the world threatened us. Essentially, if we didn't give them investment in our nation, they would invade full force and take our great city of Edo away from us. Despite our fearless samurai army, our troops were no match for British guns. And soon, the enemy would descend upon us and piece our empire apart. But then, I had a genius idea. So they want foreign investment rights. I will just give in because they're not going to take a treaty port because that's secondary. We only accept the foreign investment rights, which is great for us because they will help build up our economy and we will enact free trade. If this worked, we would save our nation and open up trade in one fell swoop, essentially setting us on the path of modernization. But would this actually work? Yippee! We have done it! With the rich British capitalists trading and investing in our poor nation, our economic development was about to explode. And now we get this thing, the opening of Japan, which basically kills the shogunate and basically will help us modernize our country. Yeah, we're gonna put the smart people in charge. That's probably a good idea. And we can basically change our country incredibly. Serfdom is really bad for our peasants, so I think we want to go homesteading. Or maybe we start slow. Now, let's go homesteading. We're gonna rapidly reform our country. We do want to lower taxes again because we don't want our people to be starving to death. But we did use that to our advantage just to grow a little bit faster in the beginning. It shows because our GDP has grown. It's growing. We're at 12.7 million now, which is higher than when I first came into office and destroyed the country. So we're doing something. I'm gonna get all the ports here in Kanto here because we are rapidly centralizing our industry in Kanto. It's almost 25% of our entire GDP in the country. And we have passed homesteading. That is insane. Suddenly, peasants nationwide were now liberated from their lords, and the people themselves were free to own their very own land. You can see our standard of living jumped up, by the way. Look at that! Yes! Oh my gosh, it just keeps going up! Within less than 5 years, the shogunate and feudal lords that had once ruled Japan for centuries were now the weakest they have ever been. But there was one more law we needed to pass if we wanted to cripple their power forever. Now what I want to do is I want to get off traditionalism and try to go for agrarianism, which the shogunate will cry about, but who cares about the shogunate, bro? But while we were reforming our laws, great economic growth was happening in our country. Since we freed the peasants, essentially raising their standard of living through the roof, I decided it was now time for rapid expansion. And so, after robbing the hard-working Japanese people, I decided to utilize our open trade policies and export the heaps of raw material we were extracting from our mines. Not long after, our scientists made a breakthrough. Alright boys, we have just discovered atmospheric engine pump, which basically is gonna double our output of iron, which is gonna be even more crazy. We are starting to industrialize, boys. In preparation for the inevitable industrialization of our greatest industry, I ordered the first mass extraction of coal in the island of Kyushu. But that wasn't all, as we also pushed for a huge construction expansion across several of our states. And we're gonna have so much construction, it's gonna be insane. Not only that, but it gives us more demand for our iron, which, yeah, you can see how expensive it is now. We want it to be expensive so that when we shift over to atmospheric engine pump, boom, it's gonna be cheap again. In a matter of months, our construction capacity doubled. We're making so much money, I think we can handle it. As long as we grow faster than we lose our money, we're gonna live. We're gonna be good, okay? Now, the thing is, we don't want to go into debt, though, however, because we are savages to the rest of the world. Everybody thinks Asians are savages for some weird reason. I don't know why. Ask the weird people back in the 1800s. They're gonna jack up our interest rates, so that's why we're not going to debt. And we have gotten off traditionalism, baby! Alright, we have some coal mines now. So, in Kanto, we want to shift over to atmospheric engine pump. And that's going to absolutely tank the productivity. However, basically, it's just because coal is so expensive. So we want to, yeah, we want to start producing that coal. And just like that, the price of iron is coming down, boys. We are the #1 producer of iron worldwide. Iron is gonna be super huge for our industries. What can I say? With our production exploding and thousands of peasants flooding to the industrial labor force, we now set our sights on the inflation infecting our food prices. You see, creating more jobs meant more people had more money to buy food, thus increasing demand, and in turn, skyrocketing prices. So in order to combat our strained food supply, I enacted the Chummp Agriculture Initiative, essentially pushing for the construction of 500,000 new farming jobs across the nation. Yeah, you can see our people spend so much money on grain here. But not only that, farms are so cheap to build. Look at how fast they build, which means we're gonna put so many people out of the peasantry into the actual farms, which means they will make more money and we will be able to tax more money from them once we pass per capita taxation. Modernization was on the rise and nothing could stop us. Our standard of living is 10 now. Let's go, boys. Dude, our Chummp food reforms have worked. And we just got honorable restoration. Yes! On August 1st, 1855, Emperor Chummp crushed the last clause of shogunate influence plaguing Japan, ultimately consolidating total rule over the country. The shogun's backwards ideology no longer chained our glorious nation. From the ashes, the Empire of Japan was reborn, and nothing would stop our rise to the top. And now the capital state is gonna move to Kanto, and I'm gonna put the industrialists in power. Tokyo! Yeah, baby! By the thousands, people flocked from poor rural farms to our new urban capital of Tokyo. With news of our restoration, the people began to multiply and our population began to boom. But if we wanted to compete with the global stage, we needed to accelerate our population growth. Alright, I want to go for public health insurance. That is going to lower our mortality rate insanely. Mortality is at 4.3% yearly. But if we can lower that to like 2%, we would grow so fast, dude. Yeah, we need that. We need that. All right, I'm gonna start improving relations with China, and we've ended a rivalry because I want to trade with them. I want to make a lot of money by trading to them. I'm gonna stick with my Asian brethren, and I will grow us into prosperous nations together. Guys, we have just got public health insurance. This is gonna be ginormous for population growth. We need more bureaucracy. Let's get crazy with this. Let's get like 15 more government buildings. Because essentially, I'm making the Chummp health reforms. But we don't have bureaucracy yet. So now let's go for this. This next level is going to give us an extra standard of living plus a minus 10% mortality rate. That is so good. And now let's establish a new company. I'm going with the logging camps. Kablamo! So that is amazing, because now our logging camps are owned by this company here. This forestry company of Kanto. It doesn't really sound like Nintendo, but yay! We have reduced mortality rate by like 0.2% now, guys. We grow by 250,000 every year. Oh, man! But then, a great tragedy struck Japan. Now, don't mind the drought that's happening. That'll go away, hopefully. We just got firebombed from the Americans. Don't worry, it's nothing to worry about. Out of nowhere, a nationwide drought burned through the entire island. Millions and millions of our people began to starve as the famine descended upon us. Mortality rates spiked, and hundreds of thousands perished each month. If we didn't do anything quick, our great nation would collapse from beneath us. All right, let's go up the next health system, boys. And we have issues because this drought, and I think we got like tsunamis going on. Okay, how long is this drought gonna last, bro? Holy crap. Oh man, that's rough. This drought is killing us. Okay, we need to import food ASAP. Oh, they're gonna save our butts. Yes, please. In the meantime, our economy was booming. For the next few years, we continued to industrialize, building our first steel and engine factories in Tokyo. Alright, we need some money. Let's start selling some of these buildings here. Why do we keep having some bad stuff in Japan? Oh my gosh, we're dying. Alright, I'm gonna pause construction real quick, and we're just gonna let the capitalists have their way right now. And just burn through this investment pool, I think. Because they have so much, we want to lower that. Wow, we have condensing engine pump. Yes, let's get that, please. Then, in a nationwide push, every tooling workshop in Japan modernized to steel tools, catapulting the demand for steel through the roof. We might even want to get some more steel, to be honest. We'll get another 5 steel mills here. In no time, our GDP exploded through the atmosphere. Our standard of living shot up to 10. And we have a health system. Whoa, my mic just fell. I was too excited there. 500,000 every year now. We're getting almost 100,000 people every year in Tokyo alone. By this point, capitalism in Japan was on the rise. After selling most of our state-owned factories to the rich entrepreneurs, we pushed for a mass expansion of construction sectors, once again doubling our construction in a matter of mere months. Alright guys, we have shifted over to sewing machines. Yes, and that is gonna make our standard of living raise. That should have been amazing. Holy crap, yes. Look at how much of an excess they have now. I'm assuming a lot of them are peasants, though. Yeah, okay, they are. We need to keep building jobs ASAP. Dude, we have exploded in GDP. Oh, we surpassed Austria. We're catching up to Russia. With our GDP climbing so fast, we could barely spend enough money. And so we allocated millions of dollars each year into building dozens of prestigious universities across the entire country. In every single state in Japan here, except for Hokkaido, because no one likes Hokkaido. With our rapidly industrializing economy, it was now time to seek out business partners across the globe. If we could snag opportunistic trade agreements or even lucrative investment rights in some of the big boys, that would bring our finances to the next level. Back at home, we were finally making our shift from an industrial-based economy to consumer goods production. The plan here was to manufacture luxury goods and then sell them overseas for major profit. If this went well, our factories would make boatloads of cash. We are gonna grow big and strong, boys! Woohoo! But this huge trade initiative would take a lot of convoys. We were gonna have to expand our ports. Alright, we're just gonna go ham, to be honest. Everybody gets a port. Now, this is gonna cost a lot of money, but it's gonna be worth it. Look at our innovation, though. We basically have tripled our innovation. Now, we're gonna get a bunch of technology spread. And we're getting the Japanese Gold Incorporated, boys. 40 million GDP, boys. We are so close to the Russians. Look how small Japan is compared to Russia. Oh, man, we're cooking. And we have hit 40 million population, too. Wait, our GDP per capita is over 1 now. Yes! We are growing richer and richer, boys. Oh, my gosh, look at the Dinka. Who are the Dinka? They're decentralized. Oh, they no longer exist. They no longer exist. Who are the Dinka? We will never know. All right, I'm gonna start selling some tools, because tools, that's a huge industry that we can get into. We're gonna sell it to everybody, so then we can just keep building up tools, essentially. Yeah, everybody is buying tools. Holy crap, we're gonna get rich. Beautiful. We're gonna make tools for the entire world. With nations worldwide buying Japanese goods, particularly our tools, we now have to prepare our economy for the next step of industrialization. Steel-framed buildings. This would be huge, as it would not only multiply our construction efficiency, but it would also create a massive demand for steel, glass, and various other industrial goods, essentially creating a whole new untapped sector that could skyrocket our GDP. So for the next few years, in preparation for our construction modernization, we pushed hard to construct several steel mills, glassworks, and tooling workshops in the great city of Tokyo. Whoa, whoa, whoa! Germany's gonna form Germany! What the heck? That's crazy. They have less population than we do, and they are like double our GDP. And they haven't even unified Germany yet. You know what that means? We should probably start trading with the Germans. Oh, we just got steel frame buildings too. Because steel and glass was way more expensive than our previous method, we had to slowly phase in steel buildings state by state. Oh my gosh, and immediately our glassworks are being bought out by the financial districts. Yeah, our glass industries are exploding. And you can already see the glass. The glass is climbing up. But our country was rapidly industrializing, evident by our massive GDP growth in just a few years. And after a few army reforms to modern guns, we were met with the greatest news of our lives. Oh yeah, boys! We had saved Japan, and now nothing could stop our meteoric rise! With this news, our diplomats pushed harder than ever before, buttering up nations by the dozens in hopes they would buy our cheap goods. Yeah, we're gonna start trading with Europe and the Americans, I think. The non-racist Americans, I should say. Well, the slightly less racist. All Americans are inherently racist. As an American, I can attest to that. Ah, smells like industrialization and capitalism. The stench of progress and production permeated the air. For the next few years, our industries hurtled forward as we continued expanding our factories and exporting boatloads of cheap goods to the great powers abroad. I'm actually gonna go for gantry cranes, because we need more ports, like ASAP. Right now, we are third producer worldwide, but we are catching up. We're literally right behind the Great British. Great British? They're normal British. We can go out to the next level of steel production. Nationwide, we're gonna pump the steel out of the wazoo. And here we are, #1 producer of steel. By far! Steel, tools, clothing, and furniture, you name it, whatever. Nearly everything we produced was shipped across the expanse of oceans, bringing great wealth back to the islands. Alright, let's grab some food industries now. Yeah, we'll use canned fish, because then we can have a huge fishing industry as well. Fishing wharves in every single state. Guys, we have trains! Oh my gosh, there's another train! Ah! With our GDP exploding, we reinvested millions of our newfound cash flow right back into the construction sectors. But that wasn't all, as this new wealth found its way back into the pockets of our hardworking citizens. Out of nowhere, our standard of living began to climb as more and more farmers found their way to the factories. After establishing worker protections, reducing mortality rate even further, our population growth exploded through the atmosphere. If we could keep this up for the next few decades, our country would be unstoppable. And so our GDP climbed. 50 million, 60 million, 70. Suddenly, we were on our way to becoming the strongest economy in the world. One by one, trade requests flooded into our courts, hoping to purchase the bountiful Japanese goods. Guys, we have done it! 100 million and climbing! But could we surpass the giant to our west? We did it! As news spread around the world that we had become the second greatest economy on Earth, The European power of North Germany called us to Berlin, officially recognizing us as their equal. We are now a recognized power, boys! Woo-hoo-hoo! One by one, our diplomats secured important mutual investment rights in Germany, Britain, and America. Now our capitalists had free reign to invest in companies across the world, and one day, Tokyo could be the financial capital of the world. Dude, Tokyo is so big you can see it from space. After eclipsing the economies of the other great powers in the world, we had one more adversary to surpass. But if we were gonna beat them, we would need to expand the economy like never before. But now we are recognized, we can actually go into debt. Like a big amount of debt. We're gonna start deficit spending, and we're about to explode now. Ooh, glass is so expensive. We're going in, boys. 35 glass, so 75 glass works total. Oh my gosh. But before we do that, we need some more construction sectors. Basically, I'm pretty sure we'll be able to outgrow our debt. Screw it, I'm gonna go all the way up to 25 here. We have basically doubled our construction, I'm pretty sure. Yep, and look at that huge debt. That debt is insane, but all of these new construction sectors will allow us to go crazy with the steel and whatnot. Because now there's so much more demand. Let's actually go up to 75 here. Yep, and everybody's building inside of us. We actually need help with employing all of our population. Thank you very much, guys. Ooh, we discovered liquid gold in Chubu. Oh, no. Of course they collapsed, dude. Right when I get investment rights in Britain. And now we're just racist. Fellas, we have a new industry to tap into. Let's get all these motors. Holy crap! When I click it, it just goes up in predicted earnings. All right, we're gonna get rich. We're about to get so rich. Guys, I'm gonna go research the car. You wanna see some Hondas, boys? Some Subaru, some Mitsubishi? We're about to get them. Now, I wanna see if these motor industries are actually real. We built 20 of them all at once. And yes, they are getting hired. They have stopped making a huge profit, but that's because they get paid $21 a year. Oh, dude, yeah, these are money makers. And I'm trying so hard to keep up with population growth that I can't make jobs fast enough. So we kept aggressively expanding our industries, utilizing our debt as leverage to hopefully increase the amount of jobs produced each year. The Germans want to defend. Ooh, the Germans want a defensive pact with Japan. Oh, that sounds very familiar. With these Mitsubishis coming, we will have a huge demand for cars. Automobiles are a substitute for free movement and leisure. So everybody's gonna buy automobiles. It's actually gonna be insane. Boys, we have researched cars. Now let's go for the telephone. Guys, cars are gonna be something else, let me tell you. Let's go for automobile production. With our new car factories, demand for the oil we had previously discovered shot through the roof. Oh yeah, it is booming. Yes, oil. Oil. Look at this. Look at the price of automobiles. This is a money maker. We had untapped a new gold mine for future industries, and if we pounced on this quick, we could easily cement ourselves as the leading automobile producer on the planet. Now let's go with the textile mills. Consumer goods are gonna go crazy, dude. Hey, we got commercialized agriculture, boys. Jeez, these textile mills are money makers. So actually, let's switch everybody to electric sawmills. And hopefully we have electricity in every state. Yes, beautiful. And that'll up the demand for engines. Look at that money. Yeah, we just have the issue where we don't have demand for many goods. Now, I'm gonna do something drastic, but I'm actually gonna lower taxes. I might lower taxes all the way. I wanna run us into bankruptcy, but I also wanna raise standard of living through the roof here. Higher people's standard of living, the more they can buy, which basically means the higher the demand. Yeah, look at our GDP shoot up because of that. Before we go bankrupt, we need to go for modern ports. Now, this is gonna bring our oil up through the roof. There we go. We got 5,000 convoys. Before we go bankrupt, we need to fill up all these ports. Literally every state gets all the ports. Yeah, look how fast we used up all the convoys. Oh man, we need more convoys, bro. More oil. Oh baby. Oh baby. Oh baby, get that oil. They buy 4,400 cars. That's a lot of cars. And we export so many of them. Dude, jeez. Oh my gosh, we're a huge car exporter. We could trade more. We just don't have the convoys. Oh, we need convoys so bad. Oh, look at all the coal we're importing from the French. And yep, our GDP is flying. We have absolutely eclipsed the French people. All right, I want to see if our capitalists can actually afford to run the country by themselves. I don't think they can. Yeah, their investment rate is just not high enough. We have actually used up all the people in Kanto now. I mean, 11,000 people are migrating every single week, and we have used up all the population. That is so crazy. Look at this, bro. But we have our first telephones going, and we have just discovered radios, boys. But there was a problem brewing that could stop our growth altogether. You see, for the past few decades, Japan had been growing exponentially, however, at the cost of incurring millions of pounds of debt. In a few more months, we would default on all of our loans and be forced to declare bankruptcy. But I had a genius idea. In the past few years, our capitalists had exploded in wealth. By now, they contributed a significant portion to our economic growth. If we could pass laissez-faire, essentially giving them more investment and control over our economy, theoretically, we could halt all government spending for construction and have the capitalists just run the economy, thus saving us hundreds of thousands of dollars. But would this work? Yes, we got laissez-faire! If I pause... Oh, it jumped up to 500! What the heck? And they can afford all of our construction, and now we can climb our way out of bankruptcy. We are amazing! We're so good! In celebration, we constructed the first skyscraper in the world in the great city of Tokyo. We're gonna call it the World Trade Center, and hopefully nothing bad happens to it. Now firmly out of the spiral of debt, we pushed harder than ever before. Each day, thousands of goods flooded their way out of our factories, across the oceans, and to all of the global markets abroad. Japanese clothing, steel, and particularly our Mitsubishi vehicles were a hot commodity sought out worldwide. Under our rule, Japan prospered. But very soon, we ran into an issue. You see, in our timeline, Japan was very limited on resources, particularly coal and oil. Yeah, I found out the hard way. Alongside our lack of convoys, which due to game mechanics we physically could not make anymore, we were stuck. So I made a hard decision. We were gonna invade Korea. We need to take Korea for the ports. Literally, that's all we need. We need their convoys. We're still gonna play tall. We're not actually gonna conquer them. We're just gonna take them. This was not gonna be an easy feat, as Korea was firmly under the rule of the Chinese. If we wanted to win this, we would need to utilize our superior technology and production capacity to our advantage. This war would be the greatest test of the Japanese economy. For the next few months, we modernized the army, recruiting 100,000 troops in a matter of mere seasons. From scratch, we forged a modern navy fit to control the seas. And by October 6th, 1923, the great invasion of Korea had begun. We are massacring the Chinese farmers. We just need a foothold. This should be the last battle. And yes, we have a foothold. 300,000 Japanese soldiers are in Korea right now. Oh, we're massacring the people over here. Alright, we have fully occupied Korea now. We're just gonna push into China, I guess. We have killed 200,000 and wounded 400,000. I do not see the Spanish troops anywhere. Those guys lied to you. Actually, they're here. They're here. We're killing the Spanish people. Wherever they are, we're killing them. Alright, we're gonna peace out now. We had done it! We won! With Korea now under our control, we quickly exploited the coal mines in the north, revitalizing our stagnating industries. Yes! Finally, bro! You know, I'm gonna do something crazy. We're not gonna import any more coal. We're gonna cut out all coal, and our capitalists will see, oh my gosh, coal is so expensive now, and they're gonna build up the coal mines. Yep, they are. They're already building them, and that saved so many convoys. And I'm gonna release Korea here, because Korea's gonna pay us money, and we want Korea to pay us money. Alright, we're going for Mitsubishi! Ah, it's Mitsubishi! Well, we actually got Mitsubishi. For the following years, the Japanese machine roared and rumbled to life. Every day, thousands of jobs were built and millions of dollars shuttled in from across the world into our nation's coffers. We were on the rise and nothing could stop us. Look at the Mitsubishis, guys. They're building so many motor industries. Let's go, Mitsubishi! So we have 20 standard of living, the #1 in the entire world, with 90 million people. We have 400 million GDP, 150 million GDP in Kanto alone. That's basically, we have all of Russia inside of Kanto. Alright, like and subscribe, I'm going to bed. By the way, thanks to all my Patreon members. You guys are the reason why I'm chained to this computer all day, every day. Now watch this video.